Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. One of the biggest innovations Call of Duty has really attempted in a long time is, of course, the Call of Duty HQ. Now, this year here in Black Ops 6, it's anything but new. It's been around since the quote-unquote new era of Call of Duty began back with Modern Warfare 2022 and Warzone 2, when we shifted from MW 2019 Cold War Vanguard in that Warzone 1 era into this new era of Warzone. They implemented this brand new feature never before done in Call of Duty, known as the COD HQ, essentially a hub, if you will, a platform, if you will, where all future Call of Duty titles would be established. It'd be easy to plug and play, going from one COD title to the next, jumping between various different modes, Warzone to DMZ to multiplayer to zombies to campaign to whatever else they throw at you across the board in any given year, right? And on paper, it sounds awesome. Okay, cool, a seamless way to jump between all my favorite COD games. That'll be cool to have it all in one spot. But as the Call of Duty HQ evolved, as we got closer to the end of MW 2022 and closer to the launch of MW3, where the COD HQ would truly be put to the test for the first time, things got not great, I think is the easiest way to put it, right? Things started being shown very quickly about how the COD HQ on paper was a cool idea, but in execution did not go over well, and it kind of backfired. Right away started causing issues and started being more so, a hurdle, something you had to work around rather than it being this seamless thing where, okay, if I want to jump from this COD title to the next title, that's awesome. On paper, in theory, that sounds cool. I can quickly shift between title from this year, then the title from last year if I want to go back and have some nostalgia, right? But it turned into, oh, wait a second. If I want to boot up the current game, okay, I'll just go through the COD HQ. It's going to launch whatever the premium title is. In this case, it's Black Ops 6 and it's Warzone as it stands, right? But if you wanted to go back and play, a different game, MW 2022, MW3, well, now that the COD HQ has been updated, and ever since it started seeing these yearly updates with whatever the new integration and premium title was, okay, if I want to boot up Modern Warfare 3 now, I've got to boot up COD HQ and open up Black Ops 6, and then it's going to close Black Ops 6, and it's going to open up Modern Warfare 3. During this whole cross-launch feature, I have to hope that the COD HQ doesn't crash, which it does a ton, because if it does crash, then I have to reboot Black Ops 6, and then close that, and then start Modern Warfare 3 again, and hope it works that time, and then same deal for Modern Warfare 2. Oh, and if you want to have all this stuff downloaded through the COD HQ so you can actually go between these different titles, you have to download the full game anyways, so it's almost like you have 3 different individual games downloaded. They're just all selected through one launcher where you have to open one game and close it to open up another one. It's a whole circus at this point where you got to do a million different tricks just to get to your ending destination, and it's just ridiculous at this point. And like I said, on paper, it's awesome, because if you could seamlessly go from the Black Ops 6 menu and boot straight into Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer in 2 seconds, that'd be sick. That'd be really cool and efficient for those who care about that. But instead, you just have to do all this extra work that's not actually convenient whatsoever. And that's just the accessibility start of the Call of Duty HQ. Every single update that we've seen consistently through the COD HQ's history has become more and more problematic. And that's not to say there weren't issues beforehand. You go back to the Warzone 1 era, yes, when we saw large integration updates like when Cold War was added to Warzone or Vanguard was added to Warzone, yeah, those were very problematic updates. Attachments didn't work. The game was unplayable. We had visual texture glitches that were going insane in Caldera for months on end. Console was a mess. Like, there were absolutely issues before, but it wasn't this case of every time there's a new update, drastic things break. That is definitely a repeated, situation now, though, much more so from MW 2022 through Modern Warfare 3 through definitely Black Ops 6 this year. And it seems like the more that's added to COD HQ, the more problematic it becomes. It's almost like this Frankenstein monster at this point where there is so much being plugged into it that it doesn't know how to interact with itself, so it starts freaking out the second that there are new updates, or they try and slightly tweak one thing here and it ends up impacting a bunch of other things elsewhere as well because of all the interconnectedness that COD HQ brings to the table. Like I said at the start, in theory and on paper, you present the idea of COD HQ, a single hub to easily access things, to make it so that the future games are going to integrate better and better as time goes on. That sounds awesome, but the way that it's played out has been anything but. And I think at some point here, Call of Duty is going to have to realize, yeah, we tried, but you don't have a 100% success rate in things like this. And when you don't have that success rate, you gotta try something else. And sometimes the answer is going back to what worked before. One Call of Duty title is just one Call of Duty title. And then the devs probably look at that and say, well, we've got Warzone every year. And what's been the situation with Warzone basically since integration started happening? This would probably work a lot better if it was a standalone thing. I'm still all for having every premium COD title be part of Warzone. You know, you bring them together and it's like, okay, the storyline works, the weapons work, you know, it adds that freshness and that uniqueness to it, and it ensures that year over year, Warzone's gonna be, a target thing with fresh content. There's gonna be constant things to look out for. If it was just one game with 20 weapons at all times forever, probably get pretty boring pretty quick. But when you know there's gonna be new guns every year, and you know there's gonna be a new direction in the storyline and whatnot, that's great. But when it's all directly connected to the COD HQ and to every premium title, that means the core of it is also constantly being forced to evolve, maybe in ways it shouldn't need to. And then you have situations where the integrations are insanely broken, and now every Frankenstein update, something else is breaking, something else is getting busted. When they're trying to fix 4 or 5 different other things, 6 or 7 other things end up breaking in the process. The thing is a mess. So to me, at least, just as, an ignorant person who doesn't know much about game dev from the outside looking in, COD HQ is a failed attempt at trying to innovate. It's cool. The idea of it's awesome. It just didn't work. And I think that's okay to admit. Swallow some pride here and say, yep, didn't work out how we intended. We'll go back to the standard days of, hey, Warzone, standalone thing. That would be fantastic. But then if you want to play the old COD, you just download the old COD. If you want to play the new COD, you just download the new COD. There's not a huge need for it to be interconnected and potentially cause issue after issue, unless they can sort of overhaul the COD HQ in this whole process and make it so that the situation that we have now doesn't repeat itself, although that does seem unlikely. And not to mention, we focus so much on like the core elements of games and how they function and their accessibility. The COD HQ is also Call of Duty's biggest self-reporter. Ever since the COD HQ was implemented, we have seen more leaks stem for things significantly far off in the future. The next COD titles, major seasonal updates leak so early on because the COD HQ, because everything, all the files are connected together, that when data miners go through and they see an update for season 2, we're getting leaks for season 5. We're getting leaks for the next Call of Duty title that's 8 months away. And that's solely because COD HQ is being forced to be connected and everything's being built off the same established engine and just enhanced for whatever tech upgrades they've got going on this year. Like, almost every single element, it seems like, of the Call of Duty HQ has backfired in some capacity, some much worse than others, with the state of the game and its core functionality at times. Other times they completely spoil things because they've added files for things that are way, way down the road. Like, we know the code names for COD 2025, COD 2026, COD 2027 already. Those projects are years out, and the game's hub itself is responsible for that stuff leaking out. It's not like it's a dev talking to somebody on the street and then word gets leaked and it gets rumored. No, it's Call of Duty just straight up putting it in their game and hoping it doesn't get found in, and then it always does. So yeah, there's no denying the COD HQ at one point was a massive project for COD, was a massive innovation, and on paper a cool idea. It just didn't work, and it's now just backfiring left, right, and center, and especially as we're seeing more and more here added into Black Ops 6, which is already a largely problematic game. It seems like the Frankenstein monster is just getting more and more out of control here. So curious to see how this evolves in the future. Do they ever abandon it? If Black Ops 7 COD 2025 here is a direct sequel, as it's rumored to be, with Black Ops 6 and having tie-ins to Black Ops 2, are we going to see carryover with that? Does that mean COD HQ again forced into things? Are we ever going to see that Warzone standalone aspect? Lots of questions that I think could, with the right answers, really help the state of COD. The biggest question is, will it ever happen? And time will tell. We'll have to see. As always, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated if we ever get any kind of insight, any announcements into anything like this. But of course, on a day-to-day basis, if you just want to stay up to date with COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be seriously appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.